Jade.
Good evening, council. I just wanted to go over and let you know where we are with the Volanta. You're okay. You're okay. But where we are with the Volanta Gully Watershed project, we signed a contract with Jade Consulting just a few months ago. Our objective was to look at the watershed and study it, and following the 9 key elements that the EPA put out for watershed management, come up with a way to make sure that the water doesn't flow as much water as we have going through there now, to slow the water down and to develop some low impact design projects that we can actually put in the ground and slow the water down before it gets into eroding our parklands and our gullies. And Trey's going to go over where we are.
Good evening. My name is Trey Jenwright. My engineering firm here in Fairhope is Jade Consulting. Thank you all for having us before you this evening. What I brought with me tonight was just a very thinned down version of what we presented to the citizens last month. And so I kind of wanted to go through that real briefly with you and show you some of the high points that we discussed with the citizens, and then the items that we want to present to the council for their blessings are actually on this board over here. And this is just, as the mayor would say, this is just the first of many topics. We'll bring this up. Jennifer mentioned that we had quite a bit of interest in the meeting other night. We've got a lot of great ideas from those, and we've kind of taken those ideas and condensed them into the list that you'll see on the board right here. But moving forward, I walked the gully after we were awarded the project, and what you see before us on this map here is some of the highlights of the issues that we found when we were doing our discovery. There's a couple pipe discharges that are at the top of the bank that are creating when the water leaves the pipe, is creating ultimately a small gully system there that's got a tremendous amount of sediment erosion in these 2 locations here. This location here is where a head cut is progressing up the channel. And what I mean by head cut is as the flows traverse through this ground, it's on top of a hard clay surface. And as that hard clay surface wears thin, there's some sands below that. And once you punch through that hard clay, it's the sand, well, then you can just imagine that it just moves the sands very easily. So the elevation drop at this head cut, the channel here, I'll show you some pictures in a minute, but it may be 2 feet deep by maybe 6 feet wide. In this location here, it drops down to maybe 15 feet deep and probably 20 or 30 feet wide. This area here is an area that's got some scour going on. This is a location that Jennifer identified in one of the major storm events that we had some localized flooding that's crossing the road. There's a lady that lives in this vicinity here that's having some localized flooding in her yard. This position here is where there's some heavy scour in the back. There's some erosion in some yards. There is, as the mayor was telling me, at one time they had installed a pipe, and the amount of water that comes through here is tremendous. And so we've got some ideas that kind of go in and reinforce this position here. This yellow zone here is where once there was a stream channel went through there, and over the years of development, our records show that a lot of this development went on in the 70s, was actually piped, and the pipes are just way undersized, and so during major rain events they can't no longer work in the conduit. They actually have to go over surface, and that's where you're seeing some of the localized flooding and some history that the city's experienced in this location here. There's probably, I got some other maps in here, but you're looking at maybe 50 or 60 acres turning into an 18-inch pipe right there, which doesn't take a whole lot to know that's not large enough, near large enough. This is the Jasmine Park area in this location, and just upstream of that, that we found some rubbish and some trash, and old dishwashing and things that have been dumped off into the gully that needs to be cleaned out. This location here and this location here is receiving a substantial amount of runoff from all this area, and so there's a lot of scouring and a lot of sediment removal ongoing in here. There was a big NRCS project that helped armor a head cut that was active, very similar to this one. So the head cut itself is fairly stable, but the areas down below it are still experiencing some significant sediment removal. So that's what we saw when we were looking at the project.